Not Quite
Darkness
is a podcast that contains spoilers, opinions, and general. Listener discretion is advised.
Because Chad always dresses up, and so I'm excited that he's probably just going to be naked or fucking Malcolm McDowell. Wow.
I'm not dressed up at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Maybe you're in a litter box. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. If I can get everything to work, what the hell? Oh, there it is over here. Hello.
Yeah, not dressed up at all.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you. Oh, and the fucking shirt too. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of Not Quite Darkness. My name is Keith Brooks. With me, as always, is Mr. Chad Dowdy, Thundercats. Ho, Chad, how you doing?
I'm doing perfect, Keith.
That's great. That's great. Welcome to the podcast, where what we do is we watch every fucking movie they even mention, like in the series of documentaries called In Search of Darkness. Even if they're like, oh, that reminds me of this movie Cat People, never watched that, we're like, okay, we're gonna watch it. That's what we do. And so I sort of gave away the secret, but we're watching Cat People. Real quick, is that Nosferatu behind you?
Well, you would think it was, but he's got a fucking mustache. So my Nosferatu does not have a mustache.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I haven't seen that Funko yet. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the mustache. It's not my Nosferatu.
Yeah. I think it defines his own. It's very creepy in a different way, and I like that. But yeah, so we are today talking about the 1982 creepy in its own way Cat People, or as that Nosferatu would say, Cat People. So
yeah, don't get it confused with the 40s version. That's for sure.
I watched both versions because I was curious, like, what part of this came from the original? And boy, did they invent a lot of stuff for this 80s version. Yeah. So and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, later as we go.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that for sure.
Did you watch the 40s?
Not in preparation for this, but I've seen the 40s
Okay.
like maybe a year ago or something like that. So
Gotcha,
yeah, I
okay.
remember some stuff from the 40s.
Okay.
I remember I liked it better than this movie.
Me fucking too. Well, except for a couple parts, but we'll get into that. Go ahead.
As this kid says, it's Cat People. It's a remake of the 1940s version, and it does take some elements from it. But but at the beginning, I don't even know what's going on. I feel like that we're on like the Highlander 2 planet.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird. It just looks weird. I don't know what's going on. I guess they're like sacrificing some woman or something.
Well, so so before that even starts, we're getting the credit sequence, right? And it's telling us all the people that are in this movie. And then it says words and music by David Bowie. And that made so much sense to me, even before the movie started. If you would have been like, Andre the Giant has stinky farts, our president is a pedophile, and David Bowie wrote the music for a film called Cat People, I'm like, yeah, I don't need any proof of any of that. I believe all of it. It all makes total sense for me. You know what I mean? But then I'm listening the entire time. I'm like, where are these lyrics going to come in? Because David Bowie's just going, like the entire time.
You can tell it's a David Bowie home. You can tell it's him.
Absolutely. And then at the very end, he's like, people are cats and they're creepy. Like at the very end, but for the most part.
But yeah, so I guess, like I said, they're sacrificing a woman, but really all she does is like stare at this I thought it was a leopard, but I thought it was a panther at first. They're just staring at it until we're in the present day.
And we don't even know where we are. Like there's a city, but there's a desert, but there's trees, and it looks like a Jim Henson property. And there's people of many different ethnicities, but mostly like African people, and then some Arabic people, it looks like. And then I thought a leopard ate her, but then the next morning they take her to a cave, and then she's talking to the leopard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
dumb.
also, because this movie's 2 fucking hours long and you feel every minute of it, all of this is completely unnecessary.
All of it is completely unnecessary. So
I mean,
dumb.
I
It's
guess they
almost-
kind of go back to it just a little bit, but they don't need to go back to this.
No, they don't. There's so much of this movie they don't need, and it's completely unnecessary. But go ahead.
So now we're in the present day, and we meet this woman. Her name's Irina, and she's arriving in New Orleans. And Malcolm McDowell is there to greet her.
Yes.
So it's always good to see Malcolm McDowell.
Always
I'm a fan of
good.
his. Yeah.
See a little bit more of Malcolm McDowell in this one than I bargained for. But go ahead.
A lot of people you see a lot more than you bargain for. But it turns out they're brother and sister. And they don't, I can't remember, but it seems like they haven't seen each other in forever or something. Like maybe she was 4 or something when he left.
Yeah.
I
Well, it's dumb because it doesn't make sense, so they don't really explain it. But the idea
They
is
don't.
that their parents were circus people, and they died when she was 4, and I don't know where she went with some family called the Johnsons or something like that. But yet she remembers all of the circus acts from when she was 4 and remembers chants and how to juggle. And yeah.
She does remember how to juggle. Yeah, I forgot. So, and then he takes her to his house, and I didn't get this either. I guess he lives with Ruby Dee. Like, what was her deal?
I don't, other than her name is Female, and that's like a weird, interesting thing. And so I thought, like, surely that comes from the original. It does not. It is just this guy had a lot of thoughts and just wrote it into this draft. Yeah.
That is funny. This is the guy who wrote Taxi Driver?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
What? What's happening?
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
ultimately, this movie and Taxi Driver is for him just to say he has weird relationships with women. This is just so he could say, there was a reason I fucked your cat. Like, that's the entire reason this movie exists, you know?
Oh my gosh. So Malcolm McDowell, he's showing his sister around this house or whatever. And as he's doing it, it's very clear that he's into her, like sexually.
Very
immediately.
uncomfortable. Yeah. Mhm.
Very uncomfortable. Because then I was like, wait, I thought they were brother and sister. Like, and then it seemed like they didn't know each other. I was very confused, especially at the beginning, by the way everything was going on. And then even later, like when she's asleep in the bed, he sneaks into her bedroom and he like jumps up on it and he's like watching her like he's a cat or something. It looks, it looked
Yeah.
cool.
But it's also like the interesting thing is, I think the best acting and the most uncomfortable moment of tension in the entire movie is when he's walking and he walks past Famale in the kitchen and he starts to go up the steps and they give each other a look that she's like basically saying, don't do this. And he starts walking up there anyway. And he has this moment where he's just really fast paced and then slows back down. And it's so cat-like. Like, as a person who has 4 cats, he's nailing it. He's nailing what a cat does. And
Nice.
then weird wire work to allow him to jump up on the thing. And that's not the only time we'll have weird wire work, but that's, There's a moment later where he runs and jumps off a balcony where he looks like Kermit when you see Kermit in like a wide shot.
That's awesome. I didn't think of that, but I know the scene you're talking about. And now I'm like, that's exactly right. That's exactly what it is. That's so funny. So he's like watching her sleep. And then we cut to like later, like a hooker is going into a hotel room. Could have been basket case. Hotel.
Absolutely. But also, like, I don't know about hooker relationships, but I know what I've seen and read and spent tons of money on.
Okay,
But-
Keith.
Yeah, but I've never had like a dude he's been waiting for the hooker for 45 minutes. Is this the whore dash? What is this? And then also, this breaks the rules of the movie because the rules of the movie say you gotta fuck to turn into a panther. And he's a panther now. Who did he fuck in this room by himself?
Yeah, because at first, like, again, I didn't know the rule at that point.
Yeah.
But I thought that he was already in there with someone else.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
That's not what happened
at all.
Yeah.
He's just in the room waiting on this hooker. And while he's waiting on the hooker, he turns into the panther. So I know they say if you have sex, but I don't know if they explicitly say, you think maybe he just masturbated while he was in there and that counts?
I don't know.
That's gotta be what it is.
Because that would be terrible if you just had a wet dream and you woke up and you're a tiger. You know what I mean? And there's got to be something specific about it because I just imagine like any woman that goes to the OBGYN is fucked or like has a bad bicycle accident. You know what I mean? And there's tons of different stuff. So I don't know. I don't understand how these rules work.
Right. They're not very clear. And they are amazingly very specific as well, but they're not very clear. So she goes into the room and, basically the leopard attacks her, but she survives. And that is key to the rules.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't even think about that because the attack is really dumb because it's like a tail sticking out from under a massage table, and then it comedically hits her, and then like fucking rips her Achilles heel out, which is pretty fucking brutal. And she falls down a flight of steps, and her leg looks like it came off. But luckily, she doesn't die. I guess
she doesn't die because again, the rules of the thing is, if you kill someone in your leopard form, you turn back human.
And I think we've already spoiled some of it, but fuck it, let's just tell people so they know, because from the beginning okay, it's a werewolf-esque sort of scenario, but the idea is if you are a cat person, if you have sex with someone that is not a sibling of yours, then you turn into a panther until you kill a person, and then you turn back to a human.
Correct. But if you have sex with your sibling, you're in the clear.
Totally
you don't
fine.
Turn into a panther. You don't have to kill.
No.
So that's obviously Malcolm McDowell's deal. And that's why he's obsessed.
Rudy Giuliani's like, I love this movie. It's the greatest because he fucks his cousin. That's what that joke is about.
I was unaware of that, Keith. And I don't know if that's true, but...
It is. He's married to his cousin. Anyway,
Okay. So the panther, attacks. She survives. However, so now we have like... I thought it was animal control at first, but it's not. It's just the zoo. It's the zoo people show up.
Which is crazy. I don't understand. There's so much about this zoo that I don't get. Because, first of all, there's a moment where the zoo guy walks in later and there's a murder investigation and the cop looks at the zoo guy and goes, detective? And it's like, and I'm like, wait, what? And I rewound it 4 times and that's what he says to him. And then also, this zoo that has a lab in it doesn't have guns for the animals. They have to go to the guy's house to get the... just a lot of problems. Go ahead.
And the zoo people are as follows. It's the Home Alone dad. It's Ed Begley Jr. and Lana Lang from Superman 3.
That's it. And I didn't remember what he was the dad from until you just said it. But I know... kid should ever be home alone with his dad based on a choice he makes later. But go ahead.
Yes. So, I mean, that's your crew. But like you said, they have carte blanche to go anywhere, to do anything the rest of the way, just because they run this zoo.
And they have some nerdy guy with long hair that Home Alone dad pushes around and is kind of a dick too. And I don't really understand that dynamic either.
And so they end up tranking the leopard, but it's almost inept the way they do that. This leopard is trapped in the room.
Yeah.
And they're like climbing ladders and almost getting attacked by the leopard. They are terrible at this. But they do trank him. They do capture the leopard. And so, meanwhile, back to Arena, she gets up and surprise, surprise, Malcolm McDowell's not there. She doesn't know where he is. And we don't know yet that he is said leopard, but he's said leopard. That's
Name of
just,
the movie is Cat People. So
yep, exactly. So she decides to go sightseeing because, again, she's new to New Orleans and she goes to the zoo.
yeah, well, she goes multiple places. So, and here's shitty filmmaking as well. So she goes to multiple places in New Orleans, and it's daytime.
Yeah.
Then she goes to the Mission to see her brother, and it's nighttime. Then she gets back in a taxi and happens to go to the zoo, and it's daytime. Because in New Orleans at 4:00 it turns night and then comes back on to day immediately.
It's like the city that never sleeps, but that's not New Orleans, though, is it?
No, not at all.
It's weird. But yeah, I thought that was like, is this another day? What is going on? Because they
Yeah.
don't. It's like she's just been sightseeing for 36 hours. Like,
And,
what?
and the fucking cab driver, she's in this taxi cab listening to music that doesn't sound like any actual music ever made because the mix is so off. Like you have a music level, and then the guy who's singing sounds like he's in the room with you singing bad off key. It's really weird. But then she's like, "Oh, what's that?" The taxi driver's like, "Oh, that's the zoo." And then Arena's like, "Oh, let me stop there. You can let me out here." And the taxi cab driver's like, "No, you don't need to go there. Let's go somewhere else." And it's like, "What? Like, is it bad?" No, no, you should go to a zoo somewhere else.
Yeah, he knows something's up with these zoo people or
Yeah.
whatever. He's the only one. So she goes there and surprise, the black leopard is there.
Which seems like a violation of protocol. You got to check it for
100%.
worms or something first.
You literally this leopard killed someone.
Or maimed a prostitute.
Yeah, that's right. Maimed a prostitute, and the zoo people have captured it, and it's just immediately an exhibit at the zoo.
Yeah.
Immediately. So, and the leopard's not happy to be there, obviously. But she sees the leopard, and she actually stays there all day and into the night, just sketching him, drawing the leopard.
A sketch that we only see near the very end of the film, and it's like 2 eyeballs is all she did. She's
She was there for like 12 hours.
The slowest drawer in the world. No wonder it took her 36 hours to see the city. Like,
Exactly. And so then I guess the zoo also doesn't know. It seems like a very small zoo, but
Yeah.
they don't know how to check to make sure everybody's out when it's closing time, I guess, because the Home Alone guy comes walking out because they're closed and she's still standing there. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she just takes off running.
and like if Black Panther was made in 1992, this is how you would have known Black Panther had the powers, because the POV it's like her running towards a wall and then just jumps way up into a tree, but you hear the noise of like that, you know what I mean?
And so she climbs the tree and the dude's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh," and she just climbs down like nothing.
Yeah, I don't even think he says, "What are you doing?" I think he's just like, "All right, come on down."
Yeah.
She fucking hit that tree with one jump, like she was Super Mario, and she's wearing a dress. Like, anyway,
Yeah, it's wild. And so she comes down and they flirt a little bit. The Home Alone dad, he's smitten, with her. And he asks her to go out to dinner.
well,
So-
first he takes her into his office, and he tries to give her because she has a headache or something, and
I don't remember that.
and he tries to give her Advil, and she's like, "I don't believe in medicine," and it's like, what? and that's never explored again. Like, we never bring that up.
There's several things that never come back again in this movie.
But then the slam cut here is very interesting because it's like he's like, "Well, do you want to go get some burgers or something?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm a vegetarian." And then they go eat oysters, and I'm like, "Bitch, you're a vegetarian. This is not. This is meat. This is." And I've been to that oyster bar, and it's great. It's wonderful, but still, it's meat. That's what that is.
So funny. I didn't even pick up on that. I didn't even hear her say she was a vegetarian, I guess, maybe. because cats are not vegetarians.
But she's also not a cat. She's a cat person, Chad.
I forgot. I was just yeah. What's the are they trying to say she's tried to like go away from her roots? Like she's against the cat mentality?
Which I think if they're doing that, that would be the only place where they do a good job of it, of like trying to say that she's suppressing something.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the fucking movie, even if it's trying to make a statement, it's failing left and right.
It really is. So at the at dinner, he offers her a job at the zoo place. And I feel like this is what she said. She's like, yeah, I have a bioengineering degree or something, some big huge thing. And he's like, oh, that's cool. I could give you a job at the gift shop. Like, and she's like, oh, that's awesome.
Well, I think she said graphic design or something.
It was something that was not like a gift shop worthy or whatever. Yeah. Like, it was like, I think you should probably look for a better job. But she's more than happy to take this job. And so she starts, working at the gift shop. And, Lana Lang comes in to like, talk to her to see what's going on. I really didn't quite understand Lana Lang's relationship to the Home Alone guy, because sometimes they would kiss. She seemed like she was fine with this. She's not fine with like it was very weird relationship.
Yeah, I think they were an unofficial thing until the very end where they become official. And I don't think he's telling her about how close he is to Irina. You know what I mean?
Because I mean, she asked Irina to go out for drinks, and they go out together. I don't know if they're like looking for men necessarily, but they're just, at a bar having a good time.
Well, they're some guys are hitting on Irina, and then Lana Lang interrupts that and gets rid of the men. And she's like, oh, I just tell them I'm gay, and they leave me alone. And then they start talking about something, and all of a sudden Lana Lang's like, yeah, I told these guys I'm gay to leave me alone. By the way, you a virgin? You ever had somebody up in there? You ever do any blowbangs? Like, and just crazy, but we find out that Irina is, in fact, a virgin.
But I also feel like Lana's like, what? Are you serious? Like, there's no way. Please explain how this could have happened as old as you are. There is absolutely no way that you're a virgin. That's the way she's reacting to it. And so, while they're having this conversation, some weird lady walks by and just says, like, me, her mom, to her. She's like, something out of like drag me to hell or something. I don't really know.
Well,
like some.
So this is one of the moments taken from. Well, she just says my sister to her, and then the Irina doesn't really recognize it and she just walks away. So, but in the original, this happens as well. But it's in Serbian. She says it in Serbian, which is a language that the Irina in the original speaks. So she understands what she says, but it's the same exact interaction, and she just walks away. And like that's the only moment of subtlety we'll get throughout this entire film. And also, it says that Irina could have fucked that girl and been totally fine, but because
that's true, yeah,
because she's a cat person recognizing another cat person.
Yeah, and if it's her sister, they are her siblings. They have to be. So, again, that's the end of that scene. So now later we're back at the zoo, and are they? I guess they're trying to feed or clean the leopard or something like that. I'm not sure.
They're trying to clean its enclosure.
Yeah, they're trying to clean it, but the leopard like almost attacks Irina, but it does get a hold of Ed Begley Jr. because I guess it's his second day on the job. He doesn't know how to handle these creatures.
He asks for like a prod or something, but the prod they give him is like this fucking big, so he's got to like stick his whole arm in there.
It's like when he sticks his hand in, it's almost like an oven mitt.
Yeah,
like it offers you protection to stick it in the oven, but not to stick it into a tiger enclosure.
Yeah,
that oven mitt's not going to do anything, dog. It's not. And guess what? It doesn't. The leopard just rips off his arm.
Yeah.
Just rips it clean off. And so he dies. And this fulfills the thing of killing someone. Now you can turn back into a human.
So, but then Home Alone dad is so upset he's going to put the leopard down. But in order to do that, he has to drive to his second location, which is his home, to get a gun. Even though he's in a science lab that he can do autopsies and has lethal injection machines in there. But no, fuck it. I'm going to get old Bessie because that's the gun I like. And then while he drives away and then comes back, he gets home and the placenta of the leopard is in the cage and the leopard's gone. And nobody ever asks, where did the leopard go? Nobody asks.
Right.
And
Yes.
there's a scene where we see security footage of this exact spot, and they never think about going back to look at it. And I get that Malcolm McDowell comes out of the leopard. Get that totally.
Yeah.
He's a wiry man. I've worked with him. He is rail thin. Not fucking rail thin enough to get out of a cage, I'm assuming naked, with nobody seeing him.
Yes. Because, like you said, if they would look at that footage, what they would see is a naked Malcolm McDowell walking out of that cage. Somehow, by hook or crook, he got out of that cage.
Yeah.
Because he's gone. He's just not there. And then now we're back at the house, and Malcolm McDowell is at the house. And if you had any doubts of, what was going on, he tells Irina that he's been imprisoned. Like, that's why he was gone. And then now, he tells us some of the deal. He says they're the same, person. They really can only touch each other. They can't be with anyone else. And he basically tries to sexually assault her, right there in that moment. But she is not down with it. And is this where she jumps out the window, or does she just run out of the house? I can't remember.
She jumps out the window.
Yeah. She jumps out the window and finds the police. Calls the police, and the police show up.
Yeah.
And when the police get to the house, they search the house, and they find in the basement remains of people, and clearly where a leopard was hanging out. So they're like, oh, Malcolm McDowell clearly had this leopard, and he's been bringing people down here and feeding it to the leopard, and so on and so forth. And also, a part of this investigation, we have the zoo people here. It's very important that they're here.
That they see what happened, and we're arresting Fimale just in case.
Yes, they arrest Ruby D. For why? I don't understand. And then the zoo people are there. I don't understand. They're like, hey, you need to come down here and look at these.
And it's
what?
not like the leopard's there. It's like there's a chain that a leopard was here once. It's not here now, but you need to see this just in case you get a clue.
Because really what's there to see is human remains.
Yeah.
That's what's there.
Yeah.
That's not really zoo work, if you ask me.
I wish Lana Lang would have went down there and been like, that's not for us. That's you. You guys
Exactly.
do that.
You're the cops, right?
Yeah.
So basically they're like, you don't need to stay here. It's, it's not safe. He might come back or whatever. So the Home Alone guy and Arena take a rowboat to some shack in the bayou.
Oh,
if you want to call it the bayou?
Well, that's later. Oh, is that later or is that now? Because at first he's like, well, you can stay with me in my dark room. And then he gets her into the house, and he has a dark room in his house and an extra room. And then they're like, we're going to go to a special place in the bayou. And then now they're in a rowboat. Yeah. But I think I think the first night they sleep in separate rooms at his house, and then they go to the bayou.
So, again, they're in that rowboat. They're going to, I don't understand what's happening. Why are they doing this again? Other than that's where they want the climax of the movie to be.
I don't know. I guess they think because New Orleans, the bayou's not right there. You got to drive a little bit. You know what I mean? But I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know why they do anything. I guess the director was like, later, I want to see her vagina through a window of a shack, and this is where I have to get to be here.
So with them at the shack, this is intercut between what's going on with Irina and also what's going on with Malcolm McDowell. And so basically, we're at a cemetery, and there's some people just making sex jokes at a cemetery. It's what's going on?
And it's they're there at a funeral. They're not visitors. And then Malcolm McDowell starts taking pictures of this one, and it just works for him. He's got that skill.
Yeah, he starts hitting on her. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it worked. She was down. I like this too. At the back at the shack, the Home Alone guy tells Irina that that's alligators around here, but the only way to ward them off is to have sex.
Which great line. That's another what a dumb question line.
Yeah, I was going to say though, it's not as good as the Tom Atkins dumb question one because this doesn't work.
Well, I think because he takes it two steps too far. Because he says the whole thing, the only way to get rid of them is to make love. And then he's like, because they hate the sound. You know that macaroni and cheese noise? He doesn't do the last part, but he might as well, right?
He does keep going with it because it seems like it was going to work at first.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it doesn't. So then we cut to Michael McDowell, and he is in a hotel room with the girl that he met at the cemetery, but he can't get it up.
And that's the weirdest thing. First, we also never addressed the fact that Malcolm McDowell has a British accent. Never brought up in the entire movie that he's supposed to be from New Orleans and they're brother and sister. Whatever, that's fine. But then he's like, I just wish I could get it hard, but you're not my sister. And she's like, what? And he's like, it's fine. And then she gets in the weirdest Kama Sutra position ever to orally please him. And he's just like, that'll do. It's just such a weird.
And I feel like too, she's clearly like you said, pleasing him, but she's talking in a normal voice, like.
But her
hey,
head is still
exactly.
doing
like,
the thing.
Is this doing it for you? It's like that's not really how that works.
Yeah.
So then we cut to back to like the shack or whatever. Now Irina though, she is walking in the woods completely naked.
And I gotta say, this is why the movie is a 5-star rating. Look, I hate to be that dude. This girl is fine as fuck. She's got muscles on top of muscles and just looks impeccable. Like, I would have made this movie too if I could see this. But then the problem is I find her so attractive, but then at certain lights I'm like, oh, she looks just like her dad. Do I want to fuck Klaus Kinski? Like, what the fuck's the matter with me? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel at times. But she is so fucking fine in this movie.
I did not know that Klaus Kinski was her dad.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah.
And now I can see it.
Right? But,
wow.
But you're still kind of attracted to her.
Yeah, she's attractive for sure, but I can see it now. Wow.
There is a shot when we first see her nude and she's walking behind a tree stalking a rabbit or something. And it's like, she looks like a goddamn anatomical model for how humanity's supposed to look. It's ridiculous.
I agree. And, this was actually giving me a little bit of vibes of The Howling, where like that one guy's walking in the woods and he meets up with that other girl,
yeah,
so I really thought that's what was about to happen. I thought that she was about to come up on Malcolm McDowell and they were just, going to have sex, but that's not what happened. Cause like you said, she starts stalking a rabbit and kills it, I guess, because the Home Alone dad wakes up and he sees her with like blood all over her mouth. And she like says, don't look at me, and just like knocks him out, I guess. Right.
She hits a lamp and we never talk about that ever again.
We don't. I mean, literally he wakes up and sees her with her face covered in blood.
Completely nude. And it's not the worst thing she does with blood while nude either. Like,
oh yeah,
it gets worse. Go ahead.
That's so funny. So now we're back to Malcolm McDowell. He's in the hotel room, and like the camera like pans over, and we see that the girl is dead. He has
first
killed the girl.
We're in the bathroom. He's naked. We see a little bit of Malcolm McDowell dong, right? Some McDong.
Maybe some fur going away. He's clearly changing back from being a leopard.
And then he eats something off of his abdomen. I don't know what the fuck he eats. It's weird.
Don't know what's going on there.
I don't know. But then he's also like ripped her hair out, and it's the most like it's on the bed. Because earlier, right before she goes down on him, he's like, oh, you have such lovely hair and all this stuff. And then, like, you can see her hair's, like, severed and ripped on the thing, but it's placed in a non-disheveled way. It's like, clearly the Panther was like, I'm going to save this for later. Okay, back to,
Exactly. So she's dead. He's back to human form. And then back to Irina. She wants to just leave. She's, like, done being there. But the Home Alone dad, doesn't want her to leave because he is now, I guess, falling for her, completely or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're having a conversation about how she wants to leave. He doesn't want her to leave and all that. And we see that Malcolm McDowell is like watching the whole conversation from wherever he is. So he sees the whole interaction. Um, and I guess she's not in the shack anymore. Is she back maybe at her original house, or is she at Home Alone Dad's house?
She's at Home Alone Dad's house.
Okay. So she's at Home Alone Dad's house when Malcolm McDowell busts in to that house, and basically, this dude doesn't quit. He says, they got to make love.
Yeah.
So that they can stop killing people.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the whole deal.
But she doesn't even know that yet. Like, he's just talking about we have to make love, and that whole.
Well, he says, "So I'll stop killing." I feel like he does say, "So I'll stop killing."
Yeah. So, but I don't think he tells her everything about the thing yet, because she finds that out in a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez. He does tell her at this point, though, that their parents were siblings.
Yeah, you have to have understood that. Yeah,
At 4 years old.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she stabs him with like a piece of broken glass from when he broke in.
Fucking terribly shot little sequence too, because like he asks her to stab him if she wants to end this, and then she does it, so they embrace, and you're like, oh, they're gonna get it on, and then he's like kneeling down beside her, and it looks like she stabbed him in the head, but instead of a piercing noise, it goes thud like that, and then she runs away, and he lifts up his hand like, I have a boo-boo, and then falls. It's so stupid.
But out of the wound, fur does start coming out of the wound,
Which is cool.
But it's still like, is that how this works? I guess if you get cut, like it's coming out.
Yeah, that's not being fucked. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
You broke the rules again.
Because the Home Alone guy comes in now, and he sees Malcolm McDowell transforming.
Yeah, touche. Or maybe like Malcolm McDowell has like a pain kink. So like when she stabs him, he's like, "Oh, that's the spot." And then
did he like come when that happened? And that
so
might
weird.
be
Yeah.
Because again, there's not really rules, but there are rules. So he sees him transform into the leopard, and the leopard attacks the Home Alone guy, but Lana Lang shows up and shoots him.
Yeah.
The leopard's dead. Malcolm McDowell is dead.
Yeah.
And so they're doing an autopsy on the leopard, and like an arm falls out of the.
Well, he cuts the leopard, and the leopard. I thought this was the best acting of the movie, whatever leopard they had, because he's sticking with his tongue out and he looks so adorable. But they cut open the leopard, and then a human is inside of it. And then it's like the Riddler is gassing Batman because the whole room fills with green gas.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I don't understand. But I get that the leopard then melts. But yeah, the gas that's like going through the whole room. It's like, what is happening? So the arena does leave, and then we have that stupid ass dream sequence. It's
where does she even fall asleep? Because she goes on a train. I guess
she's asleep on the train, I guess.
I guess so.
But her dream sequence is Michael McDowell's in the dream, and now we're getting like the lore. I guess this is Michael McDowell couldn't tell. It's the lore that we get in the dream, and it's exactly what we've been saying. If you don't have sex with your sibling, you're going to turn until you kill.
But then, like, they also try to explain how it began, that long ago our people were sacrificed to leopards, and the leopards ate so many of us that the human souls began growing in the leopards. What the fuck does that even...
It doesn't mean anything. It's unnecessary, but if you want to explain it, fine. But you don't need to show us that at the beginning.
No,
we said at the very beginning. Yeah, exactly. Let's get to it, because it's taken forever to get anywhere with this. And so she comes back, and she wakes up from the dream, and I guess she decides to come back to New Orleans. Is that what happens? I don't remember.
Yeah,
because now we're following Lana Lang, and she's going for a swim. And this is what I do remember specifically from the original.
Well, so
that pool sequence.
But the scene before the pool sequence is kind of the scene that made the original, because the original movie, it's the Van Loiter, or whatever the producer's name is the guy who invented the jump scare. So the first jump scare is a scene from the original where the Lana Lang character is walking through pools of shadow and light on a sidewalk, and Irina is walking behind her, and then all of a
And you
sudden
hear the footsteps.
you hear the footsteps, and then
Yep.
Irina's missing, and then as Lana Lang is looking around, all of a sudden a bus screeches to a halt, and they kind of do it. They try to do that here.
They do that. Yep.
Yeah, where she's like running, but they change the position so she almost runs into the bus instead. It doesn't work as well. But then she goes swimming and gets scared because she hears growls. But I also have to say, Lana Lang looking fine as fuck too.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I remember the swim sequence from the first movie. I don't remember the girl being topless.
She was
in
not.
the original.
No, not at all. But Lana
And it
Lang
wasn't-
was.
She was, and it was almost like she was putting a bathing suit on, but mid change she heard something and was like, "I'm just gonna run and get in the pool real fast because that's the safest place." Like
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah, even though like leopards fucking swim, and you heard the growl, you know leopard is what you know. Like, I don't know.
I mean, even if it's not a leopard, even if it's a person that's going to attack you, like the pool topless is maybe the worst place to be.
Weirdest choice. Yeah.
Exactly. So, she's in the pool, and we get the lights and we hear the leopard and all that. Where it seems like the leopard is stalking her. She never sees the leopard. What she ends up actually seeing is Arena walking in and saying like, "Hey, I was actually looking for the Home Alone dad." So again, what's the rules here? Was she a leopard then and just changed back? Like, that's clearly it was leopard sounds. It was leopard shadows. But
And it also fucked up her clothes and like scratched it and stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Again, they're not really following their rules.
Yeah.
But she just says, "Oh no, I was looking for the Home Alone guy," and then I guess the person who works at the pool shows up. So Arena just leaves as far as that goes, and then Arena goes to the Home Alone dad's place.
Yeah,
and she just basically walks up the stairs, taking off her clothes, and he obviously follows her. Like,
yeah.
that's what you got to do in that situation.
Even because Lana Lang calls him and he's on the phone with
Yes.
her, and Lana Lang's like, "She's dangerous. She's gonna kill you," and he's like, "I'll call you back."
Yeah, he's like, "I got to deal with something first. Don't come over here, whatever you do."
Yeah.
So he follows her up there, and they actually do have sex. I would assume it seems that way. Oh yeah, they do have sex. I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. They totally have sex. Because and then like he goes to sleep, and then she goes to the bathroom, and there's some weird blood stuff.
Yeah, so she goes again with her fine ass. She looks so fucking good, and the director's like, "You just be naked the entire movie. It's fine." And
The rest of the way, you're going to be naked, by the way.
and I totally get that decision. Wonderful choice. And then she walks to the bathroom, and she's staring at herself, and then she sees. I can't believe I'm going to say this sentence.
That's what I said. She just did blood stuff.
Where her hymen her hymen's broken. And she takes it and tastes it and wears this lipstick and then tries to scrub it off. And it's just like a weird fucking, I don't
That's where
know.
the substance came from, that scene in The Substance.
I guess so. But it's also like, I don't know. Do women do this?
I'm going to say no, Keith. I'm going
I'm
to say
going to
no.
assume not, but I also don't know. Maybe he's onto something and I'm not. Anyway, so then she goes back to lay in bed with Home Alone guy. And then starts transforming and transforms into a panther, and we see it. And then the Home Alone dude wakes up, sees a panther in his bed, and is like, "Irina?" and then the cat leaves.
Also, I just want to reiterate, I said this earlier. This is the dude that wrote Taxi Driver, by the way. Yeah, so the cat runs off, and then Lana Lang and the Home Alone guy, they go searching for her. Because they, I guess they know, that's how this works now. They know the rules. So the leopard is cornered on a bridge, and there's cops, news crews, civilians, and again, they just show up, and they just go right past the tape. No problem. Zoo people, come on in.
Yeah,
you're needed. I mean, that's all you have to say is I'm with the zoo now.
Yeah,
you can get in anywhere. It's wild. So they get to the bridge, and then. And there's helicopters and everything. and the leopard like jumps off the bridge into the water, like to get away. And the Home Alone guy leaves Lana laying there. He's on his own because he just feels like that. Oh, she's probably going to go to that shack
that
we
random that we had to
Yeah.
go on a rowboat, that we had to drive out of the city 45 minutes, then go on a rowboat this way for 30 hours, and then
I just feel like that's where she's going to be. I just really feel like that. And you know what? He was right. Good on you, dude.
and then as he's walking up, he takes the rowboat out there. Then he gets there, and there was a caretaker for the shack, and that dude's hanging in a tree, and there's Arena, and she's like, "Oh, I killed him," and then he's like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, because she's human form now. She's not. That's because she has killed.
Yeah.
You know, because she's killed that guy. Then she says, kill me. And he's like, I'm not going to kill you. And she says something like, well, then have sex with me so that I can just be a leopard again.
Well, she says, because here's what she says. She says, then make love to me so I can join my people, so I can be with my people. And then he's just staring there blankly. She walks into the shack, takes her pants down, shows him her vagina through a window.
Such a great composite shot. It's beautifully composed.
It's so weird. And then she goes and she lays in a bed, and Home Alone guy ties her to the bed. Every single limb ties her to the bed, and then fucks her, right? And all of it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me. It's uncomfortable for you as you listen to me say it. And then we cut to the last part of the movie. They're back at the zoo, and he's looking at the panther longingly. Granted, she said, so I can be with my people. And he's like, no.
No, you're going to be in a cage by yourself.
I'm going to keep you. Like, that's what he's done. And so he's just, and Alice comes up and gives him a kiss, and he's like, I'll see you at home later, babe. And then he just turns and looks at the panther like,
he's feeding the panther too, though.
yeah, and he's
He
like,
feeds it.
I fucked that panther. Like,
That's definitely the vibes he was giving.
yeah.
He totally was. And then as they're staring, we're back to David Bowie playing us fucking out.
But then, so the lyrics finally start, and so the panther is looking at us, and it bares its teeth, and it freezes for 22 seconds. No credits. David Bowie singing stuff, and then he says something like, "And the cat's so wild," and then it growls a little bit for 4 more seconds before the credits start.
Wild. It's such a wild ending.
What the fuck?
Exactly. What the fuck is
And
this
it's like,
movie?
to me, this movie is just Home Alone guy got caught fucking a cat, and Lana Lang walked in. And he's like, "Oh, but this is Irina. This is." He just had to made up like an elaborate story about why he was fucking a cat.
Exactly. Don't you remember the girl that was worked at the gift shop? She's a leopard.
She's a leopard now because she wouldn't fuck her brother, so she fucked me. So that's so much better.
But I had to do it. Like
Yeah.
it was basically she was going to kill herself, or I had to do it. Wild. Such a wild story.
Such a wild story. What the fuck?
And it didn't need to be all that because I think the original was fine.
And the original had the sex thing. The sex thing was there. There was no brother. There was no you have to fuck your brother
Right.
at all. I don't know what Paul Schrader's problem is. Paul Schrader's like, oh yeah, they're cat people. Ooh, but she should fuck her brother. Yeah, like that's
It's weird because it's like a similar-ish movie is Sleepwalkers. But that's incest too. What, like, is there something about like cat people?
fucking
that
their
way?
siblings. I don't know. Like, my
Well, no,
cat-
it's not siblings. It's mother and son in
yeah.
Sleepwalkers.
But I also, I don't know if I ever watched this movie. I think I watched Sleepwalkers and confused it with this movie when I was young.
I'd
But-
never seen this before. This one,
Yeah, I
Cat
don't think I
People
had
from
either.
1982. This is the first time watch for me.
It made me go watch the 40s one so I could be like, there's no fucking way this was the plot of the 40s one. And there's so much shit that's different. There is the zoo thing. She goes to the zoo several times to look at the cat. They don't
Right.
fucking work for the zoo. None of that. Like,
Right.
yeah, and there's no brother. That Paul character is completely new. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. It's weird. But it's just the transformations were cool, but it was needlessly long. There's no reason for this to be 2 hours. Oh
Unless
my
an
gosh.
hour and 58 minutes of that is her naked, then I have no purpose.
It's like the first 45 minutes, nothing's even happening in the movie.
It's so fucking slow. Like,
yes, it is.
and it just keeps showing him as a cat in the fucking cage. I'm like, all right, I get it. Just make him a human again, please. Carry on with the movie.
Yes. So, you asked this, we asked this at the end. So I think we have the same answer here. Does
No.
this deserve to be? No,
No,
it does
this
not deserve to be. a
burn
Searching
every
Darkness.
copy of this movie.
I just feel like, is it because, so again, it's the 80s. So they're taking all these different types of films, horror movies from the 80s. So you've got, ghost movies, slashers, things like that, things that change the genre forever. Is this because it's an erotic horror movie? Is that like maybe the rationale? Because this is the first one that we've seen that I would call an erotic horror movie.
This might be the first one you could jack off to that we've watched, but it also feels like it's trying to be a prestige remake and that fails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they were interviewing people for the In Search of Darkness documentary, and somebody really likes the idea of cat brother and sister fucking each other, and they got overly excited. They're like, cat people, and they're like, what? They're like, everybody likes cat people, right? And then they just had to put it in there so that person doesn't feel as awkward,
Gotcha. Okay. That makes more sense than anything else I could think of.
This got I think 2 stars from me, and that's only because she's really hot. Like I can't undersell how hot she is in this movie.
Right. Yeah, it's 2 stars. It's nothing.
Where I think the original is like 4.5. I had a really good time with that one.
Yeah, I like the original. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean the original's good.
Yeah,
But
this
this one, no, not so much. I mean, I guess there's a reason that we never watched it.
Yeah,
back then, because people weren't like saying you need to watch this.
Also because I was a child, and I think even at that point, my parents who didn't care about me were like, "This is too much. Let's not fuck up this bad." But that being said, okay, Funko Pop and remake. What are your Funko Pop from it?
I mean, there's not really a lot in this. I guess if I had to do one, I'd do like Arena, like mid transformation.
Same. Yeah. There's nothing. That's the other thing that sucks about this movie. There's nothing iconic about it. Like, there's
nothing stands out at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the pool, but again, that's just a copy.
Yeah, of the original.
The first. Yeah. So that doesn't count.
So for me, I would do her like a scene that's not even there, like her behind a tree, naked, cat face. Like that's what I would. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think the cover of the poster is better than the movie. Like her eyes looking all. That's better.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so what about your remake?
So I would just do, even though this is a remake, I would do a remake, but I would make it more gory and violent as far as that goes. But it's not going to be like a slow ass love story. I would actually like set it in college or maybe a little bit older, somewhere around that age, but give it to Diablo Cody to write.
Oh yeah.
That's what I would do. And so my casting would be for Arena, it would be Madeline Klein from I Know What You Did Last Summer and other things. The Home Alone guy, Mason Gooding from Scream.
Yeah.
And then the brother would be Harris Dickinson.
Okay.
I feel like he's got a little bit of Malcolm McDowell vibe,
yeah,
to him as far as that goes. Again, you don't have to do the brother, but again, what we're remaking is this movie, not the 1940. I mean, we'll do. So, yeah, let's see what Diablo Cody,
absolutely
would do with that.
I think for me, one of the things I think that is interesting about the subject material that sort of isn't really explored in this movie, I think, is the idea of suppression of urges and a person's sexuality. So I would want to make a movie that kind of explores that in a more teetering on the edge of something sort of way where it's not exploitative, but it is like, do I succumb to this? And then so make that a metaphor. But one of the things I like about the original is the entire time you don't know if she's fucking crazy or not because we don't actually see the cat. And then there's this whole subplot where there's a therapist that's trying to help her come to terms with intimacy, but it turns out the therapist is just trying to fuck her. Like, and that's part of the original. So I would combine a lot of stuff. So I would have Ivana Sakno as Irina. She's from Ahsoka. She played the
young Ahsoka.
No. She played
the acolyte thing person. What you call it?
Yeah, for Ray Stevenson's little sidekick.
Balin's like number 2. Yep. Got it.
Because I think she has that cat quality, you know. And then I would still have the Paul character in there trying to fuck her, but you don't know if he's a cat person. Like, that's not really an element of it. And I would have Bill Skarsgård as that. Because, yeah. Then I would have as the Home Alone character guy, I would now set this in New Orleans, and instead of them working at a zoo, you just have a couple of rich kids taking her into the nightlife. And so for the first time, she's getting to sort of explore the world. And so the character, the Home Alone guy character, would be Chosen Jacobs, who played Mike Hamill in It, the adult version.
Yeah. Yep.
And then for the Alice character, which is Lana Lang, Catherine Newton. And
Love
so
her.
they still have this, are they a couple, whatever jealousy sort of thing playing out. And then for the therapist that's trying to fuck her, I would have Lee Pace and just have this erotic but feels like euphoria with this question of, is she a cat lady? Is she not? Is it in her head? All that stuff.
Well, the only question I'd have about your idea is if they don't work at the zoo, how are they going to get on all these crime scenes? How are they going to?
That's the problem. That's the rough thing. I just want to see like one of those like a fake detective like that just uses that as a way to get onto things. You know what I mean? Like I'm with the zoo. It's all right. Walking through.
Exactly.
But that being said, that wraps up our year of 1982. So what we're gonna do? 82. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank our 1982 films. Do you want to do it from your bottom to top?
Yeah. We'll go bottom to top.
Okay.
Worst to best, basically.
What is your worst?
So you think it'd be Cat People, but it's not. It's actually Q, because that was a slog. Like, again, the main guy, Michael Moriarty,
great,
the only redeeming
thing
about
God,
the whole thing.
There's a dragon.
He was awesome in the movie, but yeah, Q. That's the word number 7.
Yeah, Q the Winged Serpent is my bottom one as well. What's your next one?
Cat People is
my
next.
My next one's Cat People as well. Okay, because again, titties. Go ahead, and vagina. Like, there's a lot of vagina in this
full
movie.
Frontal for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you get full frontal, you get full frontal, you get full frontal.
Oprah and this motherfucker just handing out nudity.
Exactly. The next one, we're still like scraping the bottom of the barrel of this basket case.
We are in sync right now. So yeah,
we're about to change. I got a feeling we're about to change after this one. So after basket case, I have Halloween 3.
That's a bitch move. Mine there is Creep Show.
Okay. All right. My next one after Halloween 3 is Creep Show.
My next one is Poltergeist.
Okay. So now we're final 2, right? Is that where we're at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my number 2 was Poltergeist.
My number
I love Poltergeist. It's really, really good.
It's super enjoyable, but it's not as enjoyable as Halloween 3 Season of the Witch for my number 2.
And obviously we have the same number 1. How could it not be
The Thing?
The Thing. It could be potentially number 1 out of all the 80s movies.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that it is, because I'd have to look, but it wouldn't be crazy if The Thing was your number 1 horror movie of the 80s.
Absolutely. It's such a great watch and just fun and great acting, wonderful performances, themes that are actually explored as opposed to this bullshit. Ugh.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
We definitely closed out 82 on a sour note.
And I was
but we hadn't seen it. So I do like the fact that neither of us have seen that.
Yeah, I was watching, because when you texted me about watching it, I was watching Good Boy, which is like a dog-centric film, and it's so good. It's like a hell of a movie. And I'm like, oh, Cat People. It looks cool. This will be a good pairing. What a fucking letdown, just from like high echelons to bottom of the pit. And then I had to send my dogs out of the room so I could masturbate in 15-second increments. And then, here we are.
And try not to turn into a leopard.
Yeah. Don't change. I shouldn't have done that. People are going to watch this. All the football fans that comment spam on our stuff for now. Great work. Fire masturbating.
They didn't get far enough to see this, Keith. You got to do that in the first 30 seconds if you want them to comment on that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So that being said, what is our next what?
We're moving into 1983.
Yeah.
We're going to move into a very fun one that I cannot wait to talk to you about this film. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on it. It is from 1983, Sleepaway Camp.
Fuck yeah. This movie traumatized me as a child. Oh, this movie fucked me up. Talk about
Full frontal?
Full frontal, definitely. But like at the age where I watched this, I mean, it was plenty of time after 83, but I remember having a crush on Angela like throughout the entire movie. And then that reveal, and I'm like, what have you done? Like, were you born yet in 83?
Yes.
How old were you?
5.
Oh, okay.
I was born in 78.
I'm not born yet, so I'm still -2 in this. So anyway, all right. So that being,
I didn't see it when I was 5. But
all right, cool. Well then, next time, we'll talk about some Sleepaway Camp. Ooh, can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, what a movie. That's that and Dress to Kill gonna get us canceled. In the meantime, where can the people find you?
Twitter X NQC Podcast.
And if you're looking for me, you can find me in the not quite darkness. Michael Kite.